Oh, this is a dedicated review that is long overdue. This is a hyped fragrance from the house of Tom Ford that I'm pretty sure you're gonna want to hear about because I got some thoughts about it. Let's get on into it. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. The Santa Maria here. Yes, as you can tell by the thumbnail, today we are discussing Tom Ford's Tobacco Vanille. Yes, the infamous, the iconic. This is considered one of the best sellers, if not the best seller from Tom Ford. That's debatable. Let me know, do you feel like this is the best scent from Tom Ford? Because let me tell you, the people that love this scent really love it and they stand this scent. Like, they are true fans of it. Then there's the camp that doesn't really like it, but they're like, okay, whatever, I'm gonna go ahead and pick something else because there's so many other fragrances now from Tom Ford that have also received a lot of hype. I'm looking at you, Lost Cherry. But yes, we're talking about Tobacco Vanille. This scent, interesting enough, this scent is not new at all, but yet it has maintained its popularity over the years, and especially with this boom of fragrance releases that's happening right now in 2023. But as always, you know we gotta talk about first, you all. Lipstick of the day today, everybody. I decided to rock out with something kind of berry. I had to dig for this color. It's been a minute. This is MAC Rebel, and it's a very much plummy, burgundy, purple type of color. It has a gloss to it too. I like that. So I don't have to add gloss. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And as always, the details of the face will be down there as well. Next up, we have fragrance of the day, which of course is the fragrance we're talking about because it just makes sense. So fragrance of the day is Tom Ford's Tobacco Vanille. I have had this fragrance for an entire year, so yes, we can talk about it. As always, when it comes to the dedicated fragrance reviews, I rate fragrances by my 4 categories. The first category is mood, and that is simply, when do I see myself wearing this fragrance? What time of year? What type of event? What do I see myself wearing this to and when? That type of thing. Second category is strength, and that's on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being this ain't nothing but water in a bougie bottle, to 10 being, oh, this is nuclear juice, I'm gonna have to scrub to get it off, and even then it still may not come off. Third category is longevity, which is how many hours long lasting is this fragrance, and I know that really matters, especially when we start talking about Tom Ford's private blend collection. Just saying. And then the final category, which is very important for a lot of people, is this a compliment getting fragrance, yes or no? We're going to talk about all of that. As always, let's get into it. I got my handy dandy testy strip. I'm gonna go ahead and spray some of the fragrance while I begin to give the specs on it so it can be drying down, just to refresh my nose on it. So full specs on Tom Ford's Tobacco Vanille. Let's get into it. I have the 1.7 fluid ounce size or the 50 ml, and it comes like this in the standard brown box. This is very minimalistic, and I actually appreciate it because it's very slender. It doesn't take up a whole lot of space because I've had this box for a minute. In fact, I had to dig for it amongst my other boxes. But yes, Tom Ford's Tobacco Vanille. Here is your box. Standard for the private blend. Now let's talk about it. This fragrance came out in 2007. The way this fragrance still makes winter lists, cold weather lists, holiday lists, all of the above, you would think this fragrance just came out last year, but no. Tobacco Vanille came out in 2007. This fragrance is pushing almost 20 years old. It's like a whole thing. That really is surprising to me that this fragrance has still maintained its popularity over that time. So another thing, this fragrance is an eau de parfum concentration, EDP. And interesting enough, this one is one of the few Tom Fords that actually comes in a lot of different sizes, and I'm gonna get into that as well. So there is a travel size, which is a 10 ml. That is $70. Retail currently right now is 2023 when I'm talking about this. So again, 10 ml is $70. Then we have the 30 ml size that retails for $185. Then we have the 50 ml size. Again, that's what I have right here, which is like the most common one. 50 ml size retails for $295. Then there's the 100 ml size. That one retails for $425. And then there's the giant decanter 250 ml that you have to get from Tom Ford directly. 250 ml decanter retails for $850. So there is a size for everyone, that is for sure. And this is also one of the few Tom Fords that's readily available. And what I mean by that is you can go into Sephora's and find this one. You don't have to go to a Tom Ford counter or a Tom Ford store in order to access it, because it's so popular that they just made it more readily available, which is actually a good thing for the customer. Because let me tell you, if I had to rely on counters at the time, which at the time I did not live near a counter, I would have never picked this one up, and there's a story behind this scent, and we'll get into that too. So, all right, let's get into this scent. Backstory of this fragrance. I used to absolutely hate this fragrance. So I was able to smell this scent on multiple times whenever I traveled, because again, at the time, I did not live near a Tom Ford counter. So whenever I would go, I would try to smell all of the latest scents or the ones that are most talked about. And of course, Tobacco Vanille is one of those fragrances that kept coming up. Now, this fragrance is unisex, by the way, but at the same time, I noticed it's more so men that talk about Tobacco Vanille, so that always makes me a little bit more cautious, because I'm like, ooh, this might be a little masculine. And at first, this fragrance used to be very masculine to me. Like, it was just straight up tobacco, which smells like an ashtray in some cases, and that's how it was smelling to me. But then one day, especially post since me moving to Nashville and being here, this was a part of my grand opening when my cosmetic company store opened up over a year ago. They had this sit in there, and I was able to smell it. I was really able to immerse myself in it. I hadn't been smelling a whole lot of other things, which I think was part of the problem in the past. Smelled it in the cosmetic company store, and they had it for purchase at a lovely discount. I got it at 50% off, which is always great. And I smelled this on skin and everything, because I didn't have anything on, and I was like, I finally get it. It clicked. And luckily she was like, yeah, we have exactly 2 left, so if you want it, you kind of need to go and get it. And it was true. When I tell you, I have never seen Tobacco Vanille back in any cosmetic company store I've been to ever since then. So that's why when I saw this one, I was like, wait, I really hope this works, and if it does, I'm gonna get it. Plus, like, they had an amazing sale going on at the time, and I was like, I'm never gonna find it at a better deal. It's just what it was, and it worked out. So that is how I ended up with Tobacco Vanille. So again, it's been in my collection for over a year, and I have now come to not only like, but now I love this scent. But let's talk about the rating system though. Let's see what that is giving. When I smell this fragrance, absolutely the tobacco is tobaccoing, because tobacco is in the name. But I get like the woody nuances in here too. But on the skin especially, which actually, let me spray a little bit on my skin just to refresh that too. On the skin, the vanilla base in here and that tonka base is what hugs the skin more so than a tobacco. Like, tobacco definitely sits up top, but the sweeter notes, they hug the skin more so, and it works. And it's because of that sweeter base to me is why I can wear this as a woman. So I want to definitely point that out for any other ladies that kind of been on the fence about this fragrance. It's definitely one you got to wear it on your skin, because on paper, I was like, absolutely not. It was giving just too much tobacco leaves. Now let's talk about the mood of this fragrance. Y'all, this is straight up a cold weather scent. Absolutely cold weather. And when I discovered I love this scent, it was in cold weather. It was November. So for me, this has turned into a November fragrance, in my opinion. Tobacco Vanille is. But absolutely, it's cold weather. It is given holiday season. So for me, especially November and December is when I feel myself reaching for it the most. And then after that, I put it up. This is kind of how that works. Again, maybe a little bit in January I'll wear it, but come February, I know I'm gonna put it up, because in February I want to smell like roses because of the whole Valentine's thing. So yeah, cold weather, particularly holiday season, is the mood of Tobacco Vanille. Now let's talk about the strength of this fragrance. The strength on me is an 8. And again, because that tobacco in here, which is normally, again, a more masculine note, it definitely projects for sure. And I get the spicy notes more on the skin. All of that projects for sure in cooler weather. Ooh, because if I was to wear this in warm weather, it would be too much. So that's what I'm saying. This is a cold weather scent, and it's a solid 8 on the strength. Longevity. Now this is the one that matters, because I know with Tom Ford fragrances, people are like, that can be kind of hit or miss. And especially when we get into the price points, like, it's not lasting long enough. I do not have that problem with Tobacco Vanille. Tobacco Vanille represents the old school OG era of Tom Ford, where the fragrances really last and project. And yeah, Tobacco Vanille lived up to their reputation and the hype, because let me tell you something, I get a full day out of this scent, easily 8 to 9 hours without having to touch up. Especially if you spray your skin as well as your clothing, it will be all up and through a sweater. True story, that's what happened to mine. Until I wash it, I can smell Tobacco Vanille. It's that strong, and it hugs some fabric. So absolutely, this is an all day wearing scent, and one you don't need a decant with to touch up. It's gonna last and do what it needs to do. Last category, you all, is this a compliment getting fragrance? And let me tell you, yes. I have learned in particular these type of unisex scents, particularly unisex leaning masculine, because I definitely classify Tobacco Vanille to be unisex leaning masculine. In my opinion, as a woman wearing this always gets a lot of compliments from men. It always does. It's the most interesting thing to me, because I know a lot of times women are like, oh, I wear a more masculine leaning scent. Will it kind of be off-putting to a guy? If you care, of course. If you don't care, you wear what you want always. But no, Tobacco Vanille, guys actually pick up on this scent, and it's definitely the tobacco in it for sure. But again, that spiciness and that creaminess in it from the vanilla and the tonka bean, they come out on the skin on a woman, and it just works, particularly from like sweater heat, because it radiates off the skin even though you're in cold weather, and the cold weather just blows it around so people can smell it. It's like, oh, nice. So this is one, ladies, again, you kind of got to have more of that unisex vibe. You got to like that type of scent profile. You do, because again, this is not a girly scent at all. Again, unisexually masculine. You got to be ready for it, and it got to be one that you got to be in the mood to wear. This is, to me, this is one of those fragrances that's for the girls, that's one of the guys, which I've always been that type of girl. I was a tomboy for majority of my life. So Tobacco Vanille speaks to my fellow former tomboys. Like, don't get me wrong, yes, wear full face and all that, but majority of my friends are men. So Tobacco Vanille is that type of fragrance for that type of girl. If that's you, let me know in the comments below, but definitely check this scent out. It's a cool girl scent, for sure. You can definitely hang with the guys if you wear this. It's really fun. And like I said, I've also let the head up wear it too. He likes it too. He thinks it's very nice and it smells good on him. So this actually classifies one of those scents that we can share. It's truly a unisex scent, unisex masculine. So if you want to share your fragrances, like I know we do sometimes, this is one of them you can do that with. So all right, you all in all, this is a Cinderella story for sure. We hated you and then you grew up and now I love you. That is Tobacco Vanille. Fabulous scent. And I gotta say too, I like the vanilla profile that Tom Ford does, because their vanillas to me are very dark. They're not the traditional sweet vanillas. They're not very girly. They're very much so dark and very much so unisex. So I know they have a new one that's coming out, which I'm going to call Vanilla X for now, because I don't want to say the word. It starts with an S and ends with an X, okay? Vanilla what it is. So I'm very intrigued to smell that one, and I definitely will be talking about that scent in another video once I get my nose on it. But if it has that vanilla profile that I'm used to, again, in like Vanille Fatale and as well as Tobacco Vanille from Tom Ford, that one's gonna do well. It's gonna be a winner. So I'm kind of excited about that. Let me know too, will you be checking out the new Tom Ford fragrance that'll be coming out soon? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, I will catch y'all in the next video. Bye y'all.